All right, and we are back. And today we're back with something a little bit different. And it's not only because this is a different type of video, but also the amount of videos that are going to be put into this one video. We're going to be learning a little bit about history today, and we're going to be learning that from a great channel called DocuDubery. So I just came across this channel. I've watched maybe one of these, and it was extremely informative. Um, the video had great content, and I learned so much about a time that I never knew. And right now, we're going to take a look at World War II. So let's go ahead and check out this video. Remember, guys, make sure you go to the DocuDubery. Go to DocuDubery, like his page, comment on his videos, tell him I sent you, subscribe to his channel. But also, since you're doing that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment on the video, just tell me how great I am. You're like, oh man, you're the greatest YouTuber, greatest reactor of all time. Yeah, I get it, but do it anyway. But if you don't, YouTube will come through that door, and they will. DocuDubery. We're gonna be learning about World War II.
Few battles in the course of world history have been as decisive as the rap battle that took place between Hitler and Eminem in April of 1945. With the Soviets on the doorstep of Berlin and the rest of the Allies closing in from the west, Hitler and his entourage knew that the only last alternative to winning the war would be a decisive rap battle victory that would force the Allies to sue for peace. Together,
Now, I had a little bit of an inkling about this, but I wasn't 100% sure that this actually happened. Mostly because it's hard to tell how old Eminem really is. But hearing this now actually makes a lot of sense.
his Führer bunker, Hitler began preparing sick beats with his propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels to ensure a quick rap victory. In order to neutralize the threat of an Axis buzzer-beater upset victory, the Allies dispatched Private Eminem of the 8th Mile Infantry Unit, known for his potent freestyle rap.
That's actually one of the most famous infantries in the United States. So, like the 8 Mile, they don't really talk about the other ones as much, but that one specifically is really famous. I think it's like 7th Division, and then they go like from the 7th Division, 8th Mile. He is like, the captain, commander, general.
Abilities. Eminem arrived in the besieged city of Berlin on April 30th, 1945, where he met Hitler at the ruins of the Olympic Stadium in front of a small crowd. Hitler began the rap battle by shouting out his homies on the east.
How accurate is that? Because I don't think Hitler had a New York hat on at the time. Now, prove me wrong, because the Yankees are a very old team. Somebody in the comments may be able to prove me wrong. I guess this is photographic evidence, so this couldn't be edited or anything.
In front, and then hit Eminem with the following lyrics. Every Frau trying to get in my pants. I'll conquer you like I conquered France. You try to guard me, but you'll get Dunkirked on. I'll make you flee like you're gonna do at Saigon.
He had him in that first verse. I'll be honest there. He had him in the first verse, but I'm about to see, because Eminem ends up winning this battle for America, as we all know. So I just want to make sure we see how he does it.
Swung back at Hitler and responded with, you claim you bowl hard, but you only got one ball. Your handles are so weak, you couldn't even keep goal. You think yourself a Caesar, but I ain't seen no crown. Your bars be leaving me as dissatisfied as Ava Brown.
Ooh, bars. If you don't know about that, bars. Hey, that's why he the GOAT. That's why Eminem is one of the greatest of all time, because this is what he did to Hitler. This is what he did to this man. It's the reason we won the war.
Fumbled in his response, Unprepared for how personal the attacks would get, Eminem quickly pressed his advantage by finishing Hitler with the following: "You tried to go to art school, but your paintings were straight bad. After 4 years of being schooled by Russia, I'd say you're a stolen grad." In the end, the lyrics would prove to be...
The thing is, y'all don't hear the beat that originally went with that. I don't 100% remember, like, because, you know, this is stuff they don't really teach you until you go to, like, you know, this isn't like level 1 in college courses type of stuff. You gotta, like, this is like advanced college curriculum course level things that I'm actually just bringing to the channel. So, like, shout outs to me.
Too much for Hitler, and he lost all hope for victory. Later that day, he would decide to end it all, along with a number of his ghostwriters.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, guys, if you don't remember, this did happen. There's actual photographic evidence of it here, right there. But yeah, this video was called "Did World War II End with the Rap Battle?" And the answer was obviously yes. So again, guys, DocuDubery, check out his channel. We're gonna do a few more of these because this is a historical thing. We're learning about history here, so we're gonna do a few more of these. So yeah, and now we're gonna learn about what was this guy doing. So I'm not as familiar with this character. You know, I didn't grow up with this character in my history book, so let's find out about him.
What did Doofenshmirtz doing from 1930 to 1945? Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz was born in the Germanic nation of Drusselstein during the build-up to...
Hey, that was pretty progressive for German, like German nation. Look at this. Look at this nurse. Shout outs to them. Were they...
Doofenshmirtz was born in the Germanic nation of Drusselstein during the build-up to World War II.
Okay, that's not Germany. Okay, I take that back. Not shout outs to pre-World War II Germany. Shout outs to Drusselstein.
In 1938, the Drusselstein territory was annexed by Nazi Germany, along with Austria and the Sudetenland. Doofenshmirtz's father was conscripted into the 9th SS Panzer Division and was killed in action by a British pilot shortly following the D-Day invasion. Although it is unknown if Doofenshmirtz himself was in the Hitler Youth, Doofenshmirtz narrowly escaped youth conscription by Major Felix Steiner in the Battle of Berlin. Following the war, Doofenshmirtz immigrated to the tri-state area, where he lived for some time. When his Nazi ties were later uncovered, his wife divorced him, and he was relentlessly hunted by Mossad agent Perry the Platypus.
Now, to be fair, it sounded like he was pretty young during this time, so I don't know. Like, should he be, like, excused for this? I'm not the person to say it. I would need somebody who's a little bit more historically tied to that to say this.
Why did Mr. Krabs join the Axis powers?
What?
Eugene Krabs was born in 1942.
It's like I'm not super surprised, but I am a little surprised.
In the city of Bikini Bottom, located off the coast of the Marshall Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Krabs often reach adulthood 1 year after their birth, and by 1943, Mr. Krabs was using sonar beams off the back of the Krusty Krab in order to detect Allied naval positions. He then transmitted this data to the Japanese Empire in exchange for future Krusty Krab franchises across their growing territory. Following the war, Mr. Krabs' treachery became public knowledge, and as a result, the Marshall Islands were selected for nuclear weapon tests by the United States. Over 20 nukes were detonated near Bikini Bottom, causing billions of dollars in property damage and spikes in cancer rates. Mr. Krabs continues to hide all of his money in his mattress, out of fear.
See, and now he only has one franchise. It's crazy how he still has a franchise, and like he wasn't like in jail or anything, but he honestly should be in jail for the like mass homicides and stuff he commits against his own people. Like, there are no other Krabs in Bikini Bottom. That there's a reason for that.
The United States will seize his assets. How did Larry the Lobster sink the Bismarck? In 1941, the massive German battleship Bismarck began an offensive operation in the Atlantic Ocean by raising Allied shipping. While on a cross-ocean motorcycle trip, Larry the Lobster spotted the Bismarck engage his Royal Navy. Acting quickly for king and country, Larry tied himself to a torpedo and hurled it right at the hull of the massive battleship. The torpedo scored a direct hit, and the damage to the Bismarck was irreparable, sinking shortly afterwards. Because of his heroic actions, the phrase "living like Larry" became a rallying cry to the British people in some of the darkest days of World.
That's true, because this keep calm and live like Larry, like I actually remember seeing this in like history books and stuff. So this is actually very, very entertaining.
What were the cars doing from 1939 to 1945?
Ooh, most people don't talk about this. Most people don't talk about this.
1939, tensions in car Europe reached a breaking point as Car Hitler looked to expand his Autobahn across Europe. Throughout the 1930s, Car Europe witnessed the rise of fascism with the installation of fascist.
So if you guys don't know about fascism, it's a very messed up system, and the consequences of it being around even in the 30s still affects some of these countries to this day.
Dictators like Car Mussolini and Car Hitler. Together they formed the Axle Powers, with the firm belief that Italian and German racing cars were the superior racing models out of all automobiles. In September of 1939, Car Germany launched a campaign of lightning warfare into Western Car Poland. The attack was led by two-time Piston Cup champion Field Marshal Blitzkrieg von Koenig. Prior to the invasion of Car Poland, Car Germany signed the Motor Oil Ribbentrop Pact with the USSRV. This agreement allowed for the peaceful occupation of Car Poland between Car Hitler and Car Stalin. Car Hitler then...
This is a very interesting time in history, guys. So, like, if you guys don't know your history fully, read up on this, because this is one of the more interesting times in history. Like, I kind of briefly remember going over this in some of like my history classes, but again, I just went to a really good school growing up, so like they did teach a little bit more than just like your normal public school. But yeah, this is good stuff, great stuff.
Set his sights on the low-talk countries of Belgium, the Netherlands, and France, sweeping through them in a matter of weeks. Blitzkrieg von Koenig outflanked the Allied troops in France by leading an off-roading campaign through the Cardin forest and trapping Car British and French forces against the sea at Dunkirk. Only by activating Operation Dinoco was Car Winston Churchill able to save the Allied forces. As Car Hitler drove through the rest of Car Europe, the clash between Car Germany and the USSRV became inevitable due to the differing political opinions on toll roads. Car Stalin firmly believed that all roads should be owned by the state and therefore public, but Car Hitler needed the toll roads to fly.
Now, I believe that's something like is that car-unism? It's where they think all roads should be equally shared with all people. It's like just because because the people who plan out the roads don't make it more important than the people who actually build the roads and the people who use the roads. The roads are for everyone, and just because you're the leader and you can you're there, I think there's another term that some people use for it, communism, something like that. But it's it's called carmunism. So it's interesting. Like, read up on it.
His war machine. The two powers clashed over the issue in 1941 when Car Germany launched Operation Barbarossa and invaded the USSRV. At first the invasion was successful, but after Car Germany ran out of gas and were defeated at the Battle of Stalingrad, the gears of the entire war began to shift in reverse. Now here to finish up the remainder of Car World War II is the Right Honourable Historian, Monsieur Z.
Car Germany felt confident in its ability to open and maintain a front with the USSRV because for an entire year the Western Front had remained stable, and in that time Car Germany acquired new allies in the form of Car Hungary, Car Bulgaria, and Romania, while conquering the lands of Car Greece and Yugoslavia. Yugoslavian partisans would continue to wage a resistance campaign against the new Yugo-Fastian Axis regime, but for the most part Car Europe remained under Car Germany's sway. What Car Germany failed to take into account was the eventual entry of Car America into the conflict and the ineffectiveness of Car Italy in the North Africa campaign. In 1941, Car Japan launched an attack on Pearl Harbor, drawing Car America into the war and opening up the Pacific Theater. Meanwhile,
see, this is where they messed up. This is where they messed up. Everybody knows about this. So many people, cars, boats, so many lives lost. It's honestly one of the worst times in American history.
Italian-made fettuccine Alfredo tires found tremendous difficulty enduring the heat and off-road conditions in the sands of the North Africa campaign. In contrast, the Allied forces were supplied with reliable American-made Lightyear brand tires, who also happen to be the sponsor of today's video, link in the description. Quickly, the Allies began seizing ground until finally the shores of Car Italy were breached. Months later, Operation Overdrive was launched under the command of Sarge, one of the Allied power's most brutal but effective commanding officers. The shores of Normandy had been captured and Car Germany was now facing invasion from all sides. The end of the road was near, and there was a toll to be paid. While the conflict in Europe was being tuned up, we take a detour to the Pacific where the war was still in full swing. Car America, which had long endured the weight of the Great Depreciation, was now on a rebound, but it would be in the Pacific Theater that the country faced its darkest moments, both against the enemy.
This is one of the saddest photos of all time. Like, I know they're not showing it right now, but she's actually selling all four of her tires. And like, if you look, they're showing, like, they have them like all four next to each other. And, yeah, it's actually extremely sad, guys. Like it's like the craziest part of the depression back then in the
themselves. The cost of life in the Pacific Theater was tremendous to cars, boats, and planes alike, as all put aside their prejudices and rallied together under a single flag to fight a common enemy. One such tragic story is that of Air Squadron Commander Skipper Riley, who witnessed the massacre of his men during what was supposed to be a routine patrol. It is believed that the sacrifices of boats and planes like Skipper helped push forward the cause of equal rights of vehicles back in Car America. The name stayed though. Yep, it sure did. The war was finally brought to an end by American folk hero and future President Tow Mater, who in August of 1945 dropped 2 atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He always wanted to do that. Yep, he sure did. Where are they today? Under the auspices of Operation Hubcap, Blitzkrieg von Koenig was taken captive and given a new identity in America. Who Blitzkrieg von Koenig is today is anybody's guess.
I do have some guess on who he may be, but I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I'll just say Lightning McQueen. I don't know. I don't want to say that and then people cancel me or anything, but I'm just saying he looks a lot like Lightning, but there's no proof of that.
Luigi and Guido escaped war-torn Italy and began a new life in Radiator Springs. Tow Mater would win the 1960 presidential election with his running mate Gerald Ford. The economy would crash 3 days later.
Yep.
Sarge would be discharged following demands to use nuclear weapons in Korea after the war had already ended.
This video was created in collaboration with Monsieur Z. Be sure to subscribe to his channel for the best.
Great video. Please like and subscribe to Monsieur Z as well as DocuDubery. DocuDubery. I don't know why I said that. I've been thinking the word DocuDubery in my head the whole time, even though I just said something different. Guys, please like, comment, and subscribe to DocuDubery as well as to Monsieur Z. So I think that's enough history for today. I will be back for this because these are some really incredible history lessons here. But, you know, there's only so much you want to give people in one time. or else they're going to start to forget what they learned. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I love doing the more serious content on this channel because this is the stuff that's really going to help educate the youth. So yeah, guys, again, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, bye.